Hi, Christian Henson from Spitfire Audio here. This film is going to answer two key questions. What is an Evo and how does the grid work? All titles that use the Evo Grid interface work to the same principle whether you're on Olafur's Evolutions or Evo Grid 1 as we are here. So what is an Evo? Well, it's basically a super long articulation that evolves from its initial state into something different, sometimes subtle, sometimes kind of massively extreme, over a period of time before returning to its original state and looping. Each Evo is recorded 12 times over at different pitches, and in any given interface you can have up to 64 Evos. We've arranged them on a grid with Evos sitting on the X-axis. You can use this navigation bar at the bottom here to see more. We then have pitch ranges on the Y-axis labelled by keynote. So the idea is you simply peg in which Evo you want sitting where, like this. A good way to audition an Evo is to command-click on the grid. This will peg the same Evo across all ranges to give you a more traditional, albeit evolving, long articulation. But the real fun comes when you mix them up. We purposely record Evos at different lengths, so when playing several, you don't get the same loop points. So when playing chords, you have an endless soundscape evolving, developing and undulating over time. It's this chaotic randomness that gives Evos their creative, inspirational and fun edge, whilst also enabling you to hold people's attention for long periods of time without having to really do much musically. With this randomness in mind, we also introduced a die feature, which with every roll gives you a near infinite number of possible outcomes. Click on the dice and randomise all, and boom. Although you'll have to use the scroll bar to maybe see which peg sits where. As you scroll through the Evos, you'll see that there is a selection of colours. These are reflected on the keyboard also as a guide. These identify classifications of sound. So for Evo 1, we have simple, tense and scary. This isn't just to help you navigate, but also so you can specify and limit what types of sounds you want to randomise. We find that it only takes one scary peg to make your whole patch scary, and Evo grids aren't just about scary, they could be really beautiful too. So if you want a simple grid, hit this. Something more scary, hit that. If you want to mix it up between two categories, move the scroll bar so you have two categories visible and then hit this. As most grids are recorded dry, we put some handy and very beautiful effects on the front panel here. And these can be toggled on and off individual Evos here. Adjust the trim of each Evo here. And with string bands, we record violins through cellos left to right, so you may also want to adjust balance with the Evo pan pots here. You also have a signal mixer here, which could be both microphones or indeed different kinds of morphs and effects. Load in the signals you want to use, or unload. Saves on system resources. And then balance with these faders. These are also assigned to controllers, so you can adjust them in real time. When you play each Evo, you'll see that there are indeed two stereo voices playing. One is playing from the top of the Evo, and one which you can't hear further in. The variation slider allows you to crossfade between these two signals so you can speed up or indeed slow down the evolutionary process. The dynamics and expression faders are basically the equivalent of volume and trim. They have slightly different curves for different musical effects and are assigned to CC1 and CC11 respectively. For Evo 3 you also have quantize options. We'd recommend you leave this alone unless you're going to play this out live. The off position will sync to your host DAW tempo. We'll end up here with our friendly ADSR, an envelope section that allows you to change the universal shape of the Evos even more. Thanks for listening, and if you're ever stuck on any of our GUIs, Blake has fantastically put these little info buttons at the different stages of the GUI, which really simply answer most questions you'll have. Enjoy your grid, and please send us in any examples of results that you're having with them. Thanks ever so much for listening.